Establish radiant heart. Dome hands. Form a globe in front of your heart center. Bend your knees. Send your hips back, heart forward. Dig, drag right. Infinity pose. Right toes, mound of your right foot presses into your left knee and right knee press forward. Hollow out your groins. Globe hands touch. Two jewels touch the top of your head. Elbows forward and up, outer elbows wide, forearms lift to the sky. Heart stays buoyant, rib cage buoyant. Send your hips back, hard up. Keep your gaze up, step back with your right foot. High lunge, heart forward, side bodies long, hips and wrists away from each other. Step forward, dome bright, and kick off. Hitch kicks. Switching one out for another. Bending your knees, sending your hips back, then lift off. Keep the fingertips pressing in, the mounds of your hands press in. Squeeze the heel of your hand. Dome hands. Step back into a high lunge. Seed hands press forward, hips and wrists away from each other. Infinity pose again. V-vector your arms, press your wrist forward, your hips back. Little pulses. Sending your femur bones to the back of your leg as your heart lifts up, head lifts up. Step down. Right toes touch, dome your hands on your thighs, and switch sides. Dig, drag left, hips back, globe hands. Dig, drag left, left toes and the mound of your left foot touch the top of your right knee. Both knees forward, both hips back. Nice V in your groins. Wrists forward, hips and wrists away from each other. Hands come back behind your head, ecstasy arms. Elbows up, forearms up, femur bones press back to the back of your leg, hips back, heart lifts up. Even the back of your heart comes away from the earth. Keep your gaze up. Step back left, high lunge. Seed hands forward, hips and groins away from each other. Dome hands, touch down. Lift off, left foot lifts, right hands, cartwheel. Side to side, land your feet back to where you started, keeping your knees low. Land your feet back towards the center of your mat, back towards the center of your space. Touch down, left toes, touch back, high lunge, dome, seed, back body strong, heart lifts up. Infinity pose again. Left foot mound, touches, pull your heel back, femur bones press heavy to the floor as your heart lifts up, heart rises towards the sky. Seed hands forward, hips and wrists away from each other. Two dome hands touch for globe. Left foot touches. Wide leg stance. Bend deep, hips back, heart forward. Seed hands float, dome. And then take your hips back towards the back of the room. Femur bones back towards the back of the room. Hips and wrists away from each other. Groins and wrists away from each other. Hips pulling back as your heart and head pull forward, lengthening the back of your leg. Rainbow your hands to the right. Send your hips to the right, head to the right, rib cage to the left. Rainbow your hands to the left, hips to the left, head to the left, rib cage to the right. Still staying above the floor. Back of your body strong, helping keep lift you up. Touch down, bright hands. And then straddle hop. Hips high. Be careful, you'll be nice and light from all that lengthening in the back side of your legs. Come back down. Bright hands. Step back. Crouching cat. Knees together, Groins back, hips back, then knees wide, hips wide. Dig, drag right, right knee lifts, send your hips to the left. Right seed hand, lower your right mound of your foot for infinity on the top of your left knee. Keep your femur bones heavy, rise your heart, even the back of your heart, away from the earth. Left mound of your hand presses in. Sit your hips away from your left wrist as you rotate your belly towards the sky, heart towards the sky. Right hand seed. Come back forward, touch down, dome bright. Right toes touch. Dig, drag left, hips to the right. Left infinity on top of your right leg. Right ear to right shoulder, left seed lifts. Keep your heart lifted away from the earth. Rotate your belly, your heart, your head, the right mound of your hands pressing in. Keep your hips away from your right wrist. Back of your heart stays lifted away from the earth. Left dome, slide bright. Left toes touch, mounds touch. Step forward, dig, drag right. Knee in, hips back, then knee out. Cartwheel kicks. Knees in, then hips back, then knees, hips wide as you cartwheel. Side to side, keeping your groins up towards the sky. Glutes mounting into your sacrum. Cartwheel kicks. Landing. Diagonal starter block. Two domes become globe and pulse. Lifting your right heel, both heels lifted, pulse. Hips back, heart propels forward. Femur bones heavy, heart rises up, outer elbows lift. Keep your side bodies long, touch down, dome, bright, switch sides. Knees forward, cartwheel kick, diagonal starter block. Hips back, side bodies long, outer elbows lifted. Smile on your face, spirit in your heart. Lift your left heel, both heels lifted, and pulse. Groins stay hollow, hips back, heart propels forward. Touch down, side bodies long, dome, bright. Knees stay forward, cartwheel kick, touch down, and pulse. Left hand, ecstasy, cartwheel kick, right hand ecstasy. Keep your hips coming away from the wrists, hips away from your wrists. Touch down, dome bright, knees forward, touch down, twisted cat, back cat, hips back, rotate your toes and knees to the back of the room, and start to keep your belly open. Heart rotates towards the sky. Keep your hips away from your right wrist as you pulse. Left seed lifts. Heart comes away from the earth. Keep your hip back. Knees forward, cartwheel kick, touch down, twisted cat, back cat. Right hand ecstasy. Pulse it. Finding fluid movement inside. Keep your hips away from your wrist as you rotate your toes and your knees to the back of the room. Belly comes to the sky, heart comes to the sky. Right hand seed. Touch down, dome, slide right. Right knee forward, cartwheel kick. Back to center. Seed, dome, globe. Two domes touch the top of your knees. Dig, drag right. Knees in, hips back. Then knees wide, hips wide. Right hand touches the outside of your right knee, liquid hand. Then grab the inside of your thigh, rotate it back. Press your femur bone to the back of your leg. Then lengthen your right leg long. Pressing the mound of your foot in, pull your right hip back. Both wrists away from each other. Keep your heart away from the earth. Extend your belly away from your rooted hips. Right seed floats. Right toes touch to dome on top of your knees. Liquid hand left. Knees in, then hips back, then knees wide, hips wide. Grab the back side of your left thigh, rotating your hamstring, and then send your femur bone back to the back of your leg. Your standing leg, your right leg, parallel park your right hip, and then extend your belly and heart away from your hips. Seed hands, V vector. Second set. Dome hands on tops of your thighs. Dig, drag right. Send your knees in, then hips back, then knees and hips wide. Groins hollow. Right hand behind your hamstring, rotate it. Femur bone to the back of your leg, straighten your right arm, right toes, press wide. Parallel park your left hip, rise your belly, your heart away from your rooted hips. And switch sides. Infinity. Right toes touch the top of your left knee. Seed hands float forward, strong arms. Right hand touches the outside of your right knee, left hand ecstasy. Root your hips down and back, and then lift your heart and head up towards the sky. Forearm lifts up, gaze forward. Seed hands, V vector, right toes touch. Dome hands on tops of your thighs. Dig, drag left. Knees in, hips back, then knees wide, hips wide. Groins hollow, left hand rotates your hamstring, then press your femur bone to the back of your leg. Parallel park your right hip and lift your belly and heart away from your rooted hips. Left toes touch for infinity. Root your femur bones. Left hand touches the outside of your left knee. Right hand ecstasy. Root your hips and then rise your belly and heart towards the sky. Right forearm lifts towards the sky, outer elbow lifts. Gaze forward. V vector, seed hands. Dome to globe. Hop to center. Hop out and hop in. Staying on the mounds of your feet, the toes in the mounds of your feet, like you're an animal putting a print in the mud, coming down soft, resisting on the way down. V vector, knees in, hips back, then knees wide, hips wide, rooted hips, belly goes long, heart lifts up, ecstasy arms, sharing your heart with the world, expanding your radiance, honoring the light within you. Namaste.